Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Midrank Madness. This is a game between delpiero and MOJOCHEESE on Prion Terraces. That control N is so close to control B, and there we go. In the top side of Prion Terraces, we have the red Zerg player. It is a delpiero, representing the Zerg race. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is MOJOCHEESE, sporting the StarCraft's Happy Star. I'm so happy to see that. StarCraft's continuing to pump out amazing stuff. A lot of stuff with Heroes of the Storm recently, which is kind of fun. I'm not too huge into Heroes of the Storm because it's a MOBA, and I don't really do MOBAs all that much, but it is very popular. A lot of people play it. I have a hard time casting it because it records at a very high rate. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it tends to crash my computer if I cast for too long, and the matches are long, so that's why you're not seeing very much of that on my channel. And also, I'm dedicated to StarCraft 2, so okay. Asking if you can actually pause is delpiero. MOJOCHEESE says, go ahead and do it, man. If you need to pause, okay. Ready? I don't see anybody actually pausing according to the chat log here. Anyway, it looks like instead delpiero is heading on over here. I'm going to throw down a hatchery here at the gold base. You'll notice the gold is here at the natural. That is how things are on Prion Terraces these days. And a 1-Rax expand here, likely from MOJOCHEESE with the refinery. Man, he wants that gas now. Look at that. Getting his workers on that a little bit early, which isn't necessarily optimal, but man, it's better than being late, I'd have to say, for your builds. So getting that gas out of the refinery, probably going to be a Reaper out of there. If our Zerg player delpiero knows how to deal with this, he should have, yep, spawning pool extractor on the way here too. He should have about 4 lings and a queen out by the time a Reaper shows up at his front doorstep. Barracks ready, set, Reaper, bam. Oh, as soon as he got 50 gas. Did you see that? And now he has almost 400 minerals ready to go for that command center. Going to chop out some gold minerals there while he's waiting, and the timing is perfect. Look at MOJOCHEESE. Look at this beautiful build here from our players. They both showed up as about gold level, I'd have to say, but once again, these low-level players know what they're doing in the early stages of the game. It's when they make contact with the enemy that things tend to fall apart. As I believe that is the saying in the military, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. You can have a plan as to exactly what is going to happen when you do this, and the enemy is going to do that, and then you just go to plan B. But no. You show up, you get that first attack on, you get that first place where you need to defend, and then suddenly everything goes to pot. Your plans are completely out the window, and it's pretty much improvisation at that point on. So I bumped up the sound on my microphone just about 10 points. I was sounding a little bit quiet. People have mentioned that on the channel. So if I sound too loud right now, or I'm kind of going, what is that term, overages, or if I sound fuzzy at the higher volumes, please let me know. I'm trying to find the perfect spot for the sound where it's not crazy too loud, and it's also not too soft where you can't really hear what's going on. Anyway, the Reaper's popping on in here. There are a bunch of drones here and no defense, but the Lings come on over onto the creep. Pretty good micro on display here from MOJOCHEESE. Going to head back on up here. Going to stay on the creep though. Whoa, look out, man. Again, staying on creep, being chased by Lings is not something any Reaper wants to do, but manages to escape with his life intact. Full hit points there, and the queen shows up too. I almost feel like the Reaper might have had a better shot actually just killing a bunch of these drones before the queen popped out while the Lings are chasing him around. Could have gotten at least 2, maybe 3 kills, I would have to say, but as it stands, he gets 0, but he does get a nice scout off. He sees the spawning pool. Wow, he sees these spore crawlers. Mr. delpiero is very interested in not dying to Liberators or Banshees. So we'll see if MOJOCHEESE decides to go for that. Definitely getting a starport, going for a factory here too, starting to pump out some Marines. A pretty standard composition here from our Terran players. Oh my goodness, and look at this angling on the Marines. Putting the Marines on the far side of the Overlord before shooting, so the Overlord's instinct is to run away from them, which actually puts it closer to harm's way by heading back deeper into the Terran base. That's a good move by MOJOCHEESE. APM, because I know some of you guys care about this stuff, about 125 for Mojo, under 100 for delpiero throughout the game, but now closer to 50 or so. So it's a fairly slow Zerg player, which can hurt him. The Lings do take out the Reaper, though. Look at that. Well done, Lings. Don't see that very much. They are speed Lings, though, so never mind. Never mind, they have speed. They know what they're doing. Liberator's on the way. So MOJOCHEESE saw those. Did he see the... Yeah, he saw the spore crawlers being morphed into the main base and said, I'm going Liberator. We're going to go for some Liberator harass, which is so hard to do because the Liberator defender mode ability cannot actually hit spore crawlers. They can't kill buildings. So some good positioning by spore crawlers by a Zerg player can actually shut down Liberator harass pretty darn effectively, in my personal opinion. But here they come. Liberator on the way, then into just more and more barracks. MOJOCHEESE going for a very standard, very time-tested bio-type composition with Liberators mixed in instead of Widow Mines. I believe is how this is looking. And some Hellions too, so round 2 Hellions. A little bit late. It looks like MOJOCHEESE went for that Marine defense here before he went for Hellions for the harassment. I don't know how I feel about that. Most pro players will actually go for Hellions directly out of that first Reaper, trying to kill some stuff, trying to force units out from the Zerg base. But as it stands, delpiero has 100lings and banelings just sitting on this ramp. Again, it's difficult to find areas for this Liberator to go. Can he pull it off? I don't think he can, but you know what? Anything can happen. He's even getting range. Look at this. Liberator Advanced Ballistics, increasing the attack range or the circle range here. Oh, bro, Sporecrawler shots. No, don't die. Oh, man, doesn't even get a shot off there, but down to 60 hit points out of 180. Down to 30% of her hit points. Trying to find another angle in which to attack, and that's pretty good there. The Queen, however, I think can sneak around here and kill. Oh, boy. There are some drones dying. Anybody that goes to this particular mineral patch is going to earn a death sentence. Sporecrawler sneaking on in, but guess what? Liberator pops up on the other side. Another Liberator trying to be built on in, or another Sporecrawler trying to be built here, but that's going to take a long while. That Queen needs to help. The Queen needs to help, and there it is. No, takes a shot, runs back out, just basically pulls the drones from this base, completely locked down. I thought delpiero was ready for this. I thought he had Sporecrawlers in position. He was ready to go, but instead the Liberator showed up, has already got 5 kills. That is 5 drones. It's 33 to 41 workers at this point, and our Terran player is looking good. Looking very strong, Mr. MOJOCHEESE. The third base is up and running, though. Sporecrawlers being thrown up here, too. If there was an attack at the front right now, I don't know. That's a lot of lings and banelings. See, the problem here for delpiero, the reason he doesn't have the worker count he should have right now, is because he lost 5 of them, sure. But also because he made a ton of lings and banelings and did absolutely nothing with them in the early stages of the game. These should all be drones. They've done nothing throughout the game. They should be making sweet extractor gas, Vespine gas, and minerals for the Zerg player instead of accomplishing nothing but defending this ramp that has not been under threat whatsoever. And more Sporecrawler hits on that Liberator. This Sporecrawler ready to rock too, and the Liberator isn't quite sure. Using that range. Look at that range! Holy cow, that upgrade is so good. Where's the range on that thing? I don't know if it tells you what it is. The Queen tries to get some stabs up, but dies almost immediately. Sporecrawler mixed in here too. Is this one? Yes, look at that. That range, that is something that Blizzard has actually talked about, is nerfing that defender mode range because it's so far. Look how far that is. Up to 13 kills now, this Liberator. Another Liberator sneaking on in. You almost need to go mutas or corruptors to handle this. I mean, there are 7 mutas on the way, so that should help a lot for delpiero. But Liberator up to 12 kills there. Another one tries to sneak on in, taking shots from Sporecrawlers and does live. Lives, that's all that matters. That's all that matters for this Liberator pilot, is that she is alive. So this base is pretty much completely under lockdown from both sides here. This Liberator not quite ready to go yet. The good news for delpiero is actually all of these Liberators are very low on HP. So as soon as the mutas pop out, they should be able to take them down. Where are those? Dude, use them. Use the mutas. There they are. There go the mutas. Da, 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 da. One Liberator going to fall very quickly. There it is. Another one possibly going to die too. Yes, definitely looking for it. And the Liberator gets taken out. So 2 Liberators have been killed. This one fleeing for her life. But at this point, we have 32 drones that have been killed. 32 drones? Where was I? I guess one did have 15. I guess the other 2 added up for another about 15, 16 or so. Wow, that's brutal. 41 to 43 harvesters at this point. As taking a third base behind it is MOJOCHEESE, up to 43 SCVs. A lot of these here mules being tossed down. Tank, Marine, Medevac. A pretty good combination. And once again, delpiero not doing much. Not doing by much by way of these banelings and these lings. Any upgrades on these guys? Yeah, +1 attack and +1 carapace is on the way. Armory coming up. I have to imagine that's going to be for additional upgrades for the Zerg player, or for the Terran player rather, and not for Thors. Don't usually see that with this particular composition, but again, it is gold level, so who knows. Definitely could see some Thors here. Centrifugal hooks on the way, increasing the speed for the banelings. 3 more mutas on the way, so very standard ling baneling muta here. It's a Heart of the Storm strategy for delpiero. And I just realized that's definitely a Spanish word, delpiero. It could be something that is entirely offensive to the Spanish speakers on my channel, so if it is, I apologize. I did not actually Google Translate that before I got started. So for this, I believe perro is dog, but that's not what this is. This is Piero, and it's not like Pellegrino or peligro, which is danger. I know a lot of P words in Spanish, but none of them are Piero. I wonder if that's just a name, possibly. Possibly aim. Taking a 4th base, though, at the 9-minute mark. delpiero, his macro is not bad. Yes, he lost a ton of workers, but he's been droning up pretty darn well, especially assuming he lost so many larvae early on these Lings and these Banelings. Now both players are just kind of gearing up for one big smash. Can MOJOCHEESE sneak on up and just crush the front door? It looks like he might be able to. I mean, if you look at the army value right now, it is 3,200 minerals, 1,500 gas for the Zerg player, 4,500 minerals, 1,300 gas for the Terran player. Upgrades looking good. That +1/+1 coming up for MOJOCHEESE, and +1 attack and armor about to finish for the melee units for delpiero. Now, I'm not sure what MOJOCHEESE is waiting for here. He had an amazing attack with Liberators. Ended up losing a single... Okay, 2 Liberators died in exchange for 32 drones and a Queen. That is definitely a fair trade if you're a Terran player. And guess what? MOJOCHEESE is. So here comes the attack. Moving right up this central attack location. The creep spread is okay to this point. I believe delpiero should have a little bit of a warning here, but man, this is a lot of Marines with combat shield, with stim, some Marauders mixed in here too. Baneling hits would absolutely wreck this, but there go the flying tanks. Flying tanks dropping on in, killing this Queen on the high ground, trying to sneak on in, and the Banelings are morphing in. Can there be no going for it here, trying to kill the Liberators before they get too many hits. Banelings are crashing on the right side. Lings swooping in from the left side here too. Are there enough Banelings to continue this attack? No, not enough. More Banelings. Round number 2 coming right on in though, and actually hitting on not Marines. Unfortunately for the Zerg player here, but are there just enough Marines to take these guys, or enough units to take these guys down? Yes, there are enough Mutalisks to actually annihilate this entire force. I never thought I'd say that. Enough Mutas to take down a Terran Marine heavy force, but there were. I mean, a lot of them died. Nope, this is not enough. Oh boy. Some Lings try to come in to deal with this, and this is just a bad feeling as a Zerg player. Trying to trickle in units, trying to desperately have enough to finally clean this up, and they do. They do force a pullback here. 5 MOJOCHEESE, 4 kills and 3 kills on those Widow Mines. Are there Overseers? There are. There are Overseers, so definitely should know that they're there. I'm not sure that MOJOCHEESE or delpiero was paying attention to that. However, 4th base on the way for MOJOCHEESE. More Lings, more Banelings coming up here for delpiero. 55, 57, and 54 Harvesters trying to saturate this 4th base. Maybe should think about taking a base up there too if you're the Zerg player. But again, very, very afraid that attack round number 2 is coming, and really not wrong to think that. +2/+2 just about to finish for MOJOCHEESE, making these Marines that much more effective with stim and the combat shield, as I mentioned previously. This 4th base is going to be a planetary fortress. Such a good idea for Terrans. A hive coming up for delpiero. Is there enough time for a hive? Oh, I don't know. More Lings, more Banelings, more Mutas getting morphed on in. How many Mutas are in this army now? 7. Only 7 Mutas, though. I don't know if that's enough. Oh, dropping up here. Just let it die. MOJOCHEESE, let it die. This is a grinder. This is a meat grinder. Banelings trying to get in, and they do get a couple nice hits off, actually. Forcing a liftoff and a retreat there. Still Banelings left over, surprisingly there. The Mutas try to fly in on their own. No Mutas. You're a support unit. You cannot deal with this on your lonesome. Marines trying to sneak on in here. Widow Mines once again. Just kind of waiting for anybody to get in range of them. And the Marines actually leaving the support of those Widow Mines. I feel like standing on top of the Widow Mines would be advantageous here. Trying to morph in some Banelings. It's a little bit late. If you can see the army, it's a little bit late there. Widow Mine shots killing some Banelings. Actually killing a couple Marines there too. Friendly fire. A bit of a problem with Widow Mines if you have Marines. More Banelings crashing on in. Most of them wasting on some pretty sparse groups of Marines. Not really getting big hits. But the Lings are fast, man, chasing this army back once again and pulling back. delpiero playing this fairly well, even though he is down 94 to 119 total supply. I think MOJOCHEESE might benefit from actually attacking in different areas right now. Some drops would probably put delpiero out of it entirely. Oh, look at this Ultralisk Cavern coming up for delpiero. Upgrades looking okay for him. That +2, +1, +2 Carapace just now finishing. But MOJOCHEESE is on +3/+3 attack on the way now for the Terran units, which is going to be mostly Marines. Lings try to sneak on in, but without Banelings is not that effective. Banelings crashing, getting a couple hits there. Picking up, boosting out again. MOJOCHEESE, his micro proving to be pretty good here at the gold level. Widow Mines trying to sneak on in. Burrow just a little bit closer to the Zerg army here, just trying to find places where they can get shots off. More Banelings getting morphed in. 27 Banelings. What is that? Liberators getting mixed in here again. I'm not sure the Muta count is actually enough to handle this. Baneling shots, big time Baneling shots there. The Overseers sneaking on in and backing on out. Banelings trying to crash on in here, killing some Widow Mines, getting rid of those guys. The Liberators running for their lives. What was that? Was that a Widow Mine hit? Hold up, backing up just a little bit. Just about 10 seconds here. Oh, I think it was. I think this Widow Mine kills like 10 Banelings. Ready, set. No! Suicides itself. But ends up killing probably 10 Banelings there. That was a very cost-efficient Widow Mine. Very cost-efficient indeed. The first Ultras are starting to pop here for delpiero. MOJOCHEESE better watch out, man. As soon as those ultras pop, these Marines are going to be in a lot of trouble. Once again, there are just so many banelings. delpiero doing a good job continuing with his macro here. Can he force a cancel on this base? Trying to hit banelings, trying to hit lings. Some good splits, though. Some good pickups as well for MOJOCHEESE, but he saves the base. delpiero does. The mutas are trying to kill the liberators. Nope. Not going to happen whatsoever. Setting up defender mode, locking down this base entirely. More mutas on the way. I think corruptors might be a better choice. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, they do catch a ling with that defender mode. Running on in here, dropping on this base, going to kill it. Going to absolutely kill this base. I'm not sure there is much that delpiero can do about this unless he wants to run his ultras in, which might not be a terrible idea. But the base is already dead, so he decides not to actually commit, pulling back to more of a defensive position, continuing to stream Marines across the field. This is a place as a Zerg player where you actually need to set up little roving bands of lings to catch these reinforcements and kill them, as they are so vulnerable coming up in 1s and 2s across the field. Anyway, that +2/+2 is there. +3/+3 on the way. Kindness plating just about to finish now for delpiero. These ultras are a little bit tough. A little bit tougher than you might expect. Is he going to go for it here? I don't know. The liberators are a pretty good answer against ultras just because they hit so hard, and ultras can't really do anything against them because they're air units. 131, 169 total supply. MOJOCHEESE setting up those liberators. Again, they're talking about nerfing this range. Haven't done it yet. I'm not sure if they're ever going to do it, but it's something they've considered doing. Terran players howling in protest at the very thought they should nerf that. +3/+3 has now finished for the Marines. Mutas, ultras in production here for delpiero. He doesn't quite have the income to do this thing. He's slowly getting starved out. Meanwhile, MOJOCHEESE, his 4th base is happy. His 5th base, happy too, waiting for reinforcements. There it is, the small boost up in the liftoff. And the drop coming out here to try to drop in this top area, force some units back to defend against that, and then just crushing right on in here. Come the ultras, come the banelings. The ground army not going to do much at all. The mutas are trying to kill the liberators. Nicely done, actually. Catching a couple of them, trying to sneak on after those guys. Can the ultras get on top of these Marines? Yes, the Marines are not on attack move. Oh, and the liberators getting taken at 2 spore crawlers getting into the act here and heading on down home. delpiero has held and then some, up 118 to 103 total supply. Compared to his opponent, he needs to expand now. He needs to maybe push the advantage. Clear out this area at the very least. Not allow a staging ground to be set up right at the front of your base. This Widowmine have a kill. This Widowmine does not actually have a kill. So I don't think delpiero has attempted to replant this. Now he has. Ready? You poor thing. You poor drone. You had no idea there was a Widowmine there, and I'm not sure that delpiero knows there's one either. He is expanding over in this area, which is good. Continuing to expand, continuing to do what he needs to do. However, MOJOCHEESE just making Marines, Marauders, Widowmines, Liberators, Planetary Fortresses, more Ultras being popped on out. I'm not sure any Ultras have actually died so far in this game. One has died. One has died so far, but a lot of them here. 10 kills on that one, 8 kills on that one, 7 kills on that one. Upgrades looking pretty darn good. Not really upgrading them any further than they already are, which is a bit of a problem, but the Marauder count getting higher for MOJOCHEESE. Extra attack versus armored here. 13 versus armored instead of the 8 that you see against non-armored. Scan. Checking out what we're seeing. And yeah, just pretty much more ultras and more mutas here too. Any upgrades on these flyers? Nope. Not at all. And boosting up. Where's MOJOCHEESE going to go with this? Ooh, I'm interested to see. So Liberators sneak up here. Going to lock down this base fairly easily. Ah, dropping down. Yeah, I think right here, delpiero, you just let this go. I honestly think you let it go. The mutas are trying to fly in, get rid of these liberators first. The ultra's trying to crush in too, but the angle is just bad. Most of these ultras can't actually attack anything at all. The muta count is slowly getting whittled down by the Marines, by the liberators, and the ultras are just, they're stuck. Their pathing is bad behind these mineral lines. A lot of them are actually dying. The mutas are still alive. Still alive somehow. And slowly getting torn apart by these +3/+3 Marines that are left on the ground here. 4 kills, 5 kills on those, and that's it. A rage quit from delpiero. MOJOCHEESE is victorious, and delpiero has left the game. And a posthumous MOJOCHEESE GG. He doesn't want to leave the game. He wants to continue to destroy the Zerg players. We're going to go ahead and mute him and wrap things up. So once again, I just think it was persistence. My MOJOCHEESE did a great job dropping in good locations. Didn't really attack from different parts of the map like I wanted him to do, although he did do it a couple times. Not sure it worked out for him in the end, but delpiero just couldn't really get his economy up and running. He lost that 4th base. His other 4th base up here on the high ground just got assaulted way, way too many times. In the end, he lost 87 drones. If you can kill 87 drones as a Terran player, you should probably expect a win. You really should. So upgrades were good for MOJOCHEESE. Use of the Liberator, the Medivacs, basically mixing in Marauders once he knew that there were Ultras was a fantastic play too. You generally want to see Ghosts. You want to see Ghosts if you're going up against Ultras, but Marauders and Liberators, pretty good stand-ins if that's all you want to do here. Delpiero upgrades actually continuing to go here. That's another thing. MOJOCHEESE had his +3/+3 for his bio units. Delpiero was still finishing up his +3 armor and his +3 attack, so it wasn't quite up to snuff either against the Terran player. And in the end, the expanding, the decision-making, the macro abilities won it for the gold, and that's generally how this goes at this levels. Macro ability and composition can get you a long, long way here. Micro doesn't have to be perfect, but it can win you games in gold all day long. All right, so that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. And let's try that again. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another weekly edition of Mid-Rank Madness. If you'd like me to cast one of your Mid-Rank Madness games, which is Gold, Platinum, and Diamonds, send it to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Mid-Rank Madness. I'll get it to my screeners, they'll take a look at it, and I will cast the very best ones that they get. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.